Hello, everyone. My name is JD Calderon, and I'm. This is Indie Comics Explained. Don't mind me, I'm just losing my mind again. But please hit subscribe, share out the video. And here's my co-host Dee Rosario, and I just totally screwed my intro.
Somebody forgot his own intro, man.
Listen, man, I'm like I said, I am totally discombobulated.
Good.
I am not here. You know,
I'm glad to see you. Excuse me, disheveled. Not that I mean you malice in any way, but you know, you're always so kept together and on point, and you know, to see you just a little bit shaken, stirred, I'm like, okay, he's human. He's human. You know, like the rest of the indie creators, we are human, right? And you got quite a few on today, don't you, buddy?
Yes, I do. Let's bring on the co-host.
Oh, we got a Coco. Oh, who's this?
Oh, it's me. I was trying to share your thing around. Nobody gives me any. Nobody gives
everybody else in, buddy.
Yeah, no, it's like we'll just put this guy on. It's fine. It's fine.
So, Tom, introduce yourself for the three people that don't know you.
Whatever. It's right there. Go to the website. You know, Big Dog Inc. Tom Hutchison, writer, publisher, producer, art director, all things Big Dog Inc. We're celebrating 15 years of Big Dog Inc. this year. So lots on the plate for 2015.
All right, cool. Mr. Mark Dudley, how are you, sir?
What up, though? Doing all right, man. You know, out here trying to make it, making comics, having fun, man. That's my mantra. You know, that's about what all I'm doing, man.
All right, that's cool. Lisa, John, how you doing?
We're good.
Pleasure to meet you. Please introduce yourselves.
I'm Lisa, and this is John, and we're from Background Noise Comics, and we are here to talk about our Kickstarter. We've got our first book coming out.
All right.
Very nice.
All right, way to be.
Hey, I'm Tony James. I'm the creator of a book called Star Noir. It was very successful on Kickstarter, and now I'm doing a second chance on Indiegogo.
Very nice. Very nice. All right, cool. So listen, let's just start right with the show question. Right? I'm sure everybody's seen it. So, you know, so we can all ruminate over it, you know, and
I'm the co-host. I don't know what the question is.
Not only that, I already know your answer. But anyway.
Okay.
What's more important to you as a creator? The cash or the art of creation? Right? And let's start off with the frozen Mr. Dudley. I think he really is frozen there. All right. So, Lisa, why don't we start with you?
You know, if the cash was the most important thing, then we wouldn't be doing it. You know, it's obviously we want the cash. We want people to support our Kickstarter. We want people to support us. But, you know, we've been making comics for almost 8 years and we don't really get paid a lot. We do it for the love. Would you say, John?
Yeah. I mean, you know, cash would be nice, but
yes.
Cash, you know, got to start making cash with your comics or you're not going to be able to keep making comics. But, clearly, you know, you make comics for the love, but also money's good too.
My mother used to say, rich or poor, it's nice to have money. That's my answer.
This is true. Tony, what are your thoughts?
I don't think it's really like an either or thing. It's more which foot you want to lead with. You know, if like obviously, you know, you want your books to, you know, sell and make money. But I think if you lead with the business foot, you might strip the book of its artistry and it just becomes product, just content to like get in front of people. So I think if you really want to make something evergreen, I think you got to lead with the artistry first.
All right, very good. Mark, did you catch the question?
Oh, yeah, I saw the question. The questions is there, and so
yeah.
If you so my thing is this, right? You know, I've been doing this stuff for a while, and it's like ultimately, I realized somewhere down the line that from a financial standpoint, yeah, it was cool, it was fun, whatever, but it's nothing more fun than the actual process. I know that there's an economic component to it. You know, I'm not blind to that, but if you're not having fun, for me, what's the use?
Mm-hmm. All right, that's fair. That's fair. And I have to say, Mark has the best background. Everybody here has great backgrounds, but Mark has the best one. I'm only saying because you can see he's a working artist, right? Whereas the rest of us, we're just showing off our stuff.
Yep.
You know, Tom, what are your thoughts?
So I think this is kind of a multi-layered thing, because what's most important, it kind of depends on where you're coming at from what you want to do and accomplish in the business, right? Because if you want to be in the business, the money has to be there. If that's what you want your business to be. Now, it's different if you are, hey, still have my day job and we do comics on the side, and then the fun of it is certainly maybe all important at that goal. But if you want to take the step out of, I don't want to work my 9 to 5, I want to make comics for a living in whatever capacity, writing or drawing or whatever it is you're doing, the money becomes the thing you have to get in order for that to happen. So what you have to do, I think, is you have to, like Tony said, it has to start with the love of comics. It has to start with that, because otherwise then you are just creating a product 100%. But if you've started to create something and at some point you're able to then say, I'm leaving the job, I'm doing this full time, you now have the starting point of, we love comics, we created something that we think will last and be able to grow and become a business, and then you step into the business side of it, then I think you have exactly what you want. But then at that point, you have to be very aware of, is there money coming in? Is there enough money to, pay my car bill and my electric bill and, all this kind of stuff. So the money is the thing if you want to be in the comic book business. And I think that's a hard thing for a lot of people to admit. We always get we do it for the love of comics. Of course, we all do it for the love of comics. We wouldn't be here if we weren't. But once you get to the true business side of comics, when you're trying to make a living at it, the money part has to kind of be at least an equal consideration.
But wasn't the question, what are you doing? Like, why do you start? Like, what did you, like, I thought the question was more like, what got you into it? And so I think that, like, not many people, like, sure, you could be getting into it because you think you're going to be making a lot of money, but I think most of us know that that's like a long haul.
Correct. Yeah. Oh, there's definitely people that come in and they just think they can put a pair of tits on a cover and make $1 million. I mean, it's a very, very real mentality.
Right.
At least 20K.
And it's a very faulty mentality, 100%. Right. So, there'll always be people that come in with the trends, like what's working now. Let's just try and, ride the wave of whatever's happening, and they'll be behind all the people that made that wave, go. So you've got to come in with your own thing. You've got to come in with your own creativity, your own story, your own thought process, your own, like, why does what it is that I'm making matter to the people that I'm trying to sell it to? And you can do that while still having your own job. I work here, I work there, I do comics at night, 100%. Most people do it that way. But if you want to ever close that door to the job part, that's putting a check, in your hand every couple of weeks, and just rely on the comics, that's where you've got to really be able to come in and say, do I have something that can make actual money if I put, all of my time into it?
That's the age-old question.
Yeah.
It's like, do you take that risk? Do you take that leap of artistic faith?
Well, I think too that these days, with a lot of different ways that you can put the comic out, web comics, indie physical comics at the cons and whatever, I think that we got a lot of opportunities to see if that comic is actually viable to be able to move to that next level to where it becomes your business. I think it's just compared to what we had in the early 90s or whatever, right? When all we were doing was putting out ash cans and spending $1 million hopefully to print a comic. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people going to Kinko's back then, and so you didn't have the avenues that you have now. I don't think.
True.
Yeah,
Jay,
absolutely.
Jay, what are your thoughts?
My answer could be found in one of the greatest movies of all time, The Fifth Element, when the junkie who knocked on your door trying to rob you said, "Give me the cash." Okay, you guys, I love this, right? But I'm married, and if I am going to keep making comic books without threatening to have the lights turned off, I need money to come in, right?
Sure.
I can always hope, I can always dream. I'm not a one man show doing this. I have a group of people who help me out, and if I want to keep them working on the stuff, I want to keep them providing me with quality content, right? With really nice looking pages. I need to keep them employed. I
Sure.
do. One of my collaborators came up to me and said, last year I lived one of my best lives with all the money I made from the work you gave me. And I was like, oh, okay. That was deep. That was deep, man. Nobody ever said that to me before.
Did you
Right?
cut his pay?
What's up, brother?
Did you cut his pay?
I did. We're living in 2025 America, baby. Everybody get cut from the top down. Whatchamacallit. But going back to that, it's just, yes, this supplements my income, right? I'm about 4 years away from retirement, from a job that I have hated and despised and spat at with every fiber of my being from before I even started it, right? But it helped provide me a place of security where I can work on this. It helped me pay for some of my collaborators when the money wasn't coming in. I've bootstrapped this. And I'm not here saying I live in a mansion or drive a Maserati. That's not the case at all. I'm here by humble means, but the money coming in does help me to make a comic book. I'm not writing prose. I'm not a one-man show, right? I'm not putting something up on Amazon in a digital format. We print in bulk. I know Calderon and me go back and forth on this all the time. Half of my furniture is made up of the boxes that I sit on of the books that I haven't sold yet, right? But that's the life I'm choosing. This is the poison that I'm picking, and I need the cash, right? It is the most important part of this for me. I've been dreaming about comic books ever since I was a kid. That's never going to change, right? The love is always going to be there. The blue skies, the dreaming, the gears grinding while I'm driving and I'm stuck in traffic. That's always going to happen. But to bring it out into the world, I need them greenbacks, right? I'm not trying to be here greedy.
Stop buying those G.I. Joe toys. You could get that Maserati.
You don't want to know what I bought today, bro. You don't want to know what I bought today. You know what? Let me show you one of the things that I picked up today that scared the shit out of me, right? X-Men number 97 that I left in the wrong spot when I came in, and I saw somebody sit down on it, and I had a fucking heart attack.
Right. That'll give you a heart attack, all that.
All right. So, yes, after doing comic books since 2008, I've been able to make a couple of extra bucks, right? Be able to supplement what I bring in from the day job. So, yeah, the cash part is really important to me.
That's fair. For me, it's the exact opposite. It's about the art. I'm an artist. I've worked professionally. I have a day job. The day job takes care of the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever money I make on Kickstarter, and I mean all of it, goes back to the artist. On occasion, I might buy myself a slice of pizza. That's about it.
Right.
Everything else gets rolled back into the business. And again, it gets rolled back to the artist, right? But if for some reason I couldn't do that, I do write prose. And I have to say that if you're a writer and you don't write prose, just give it a shot. I would always advise, give it a shot, right? Just try it, play with it. It may sing to you, it may not, but it'll give you an extra tool in your toolkit that you can utilize, right? I do think that you would be poorer for it if you don't try, at least try, right? So you should at least give it a shot. that way, at least if something goes wrong and you can't complete the story that you want to tell with an artist, you can always complete the story, right? Because I mean, I had a story on my conscience for the longest time. I ended up completing it. I wrote it out as a novel, and it got the monkey off my back, and of course the monkey jumped back on. So now I'm trying to finish it as a comic book again. So, but that's a whole other story. But yeah, I mean, you know, if I got stranded on an island and I had a pen, a bunch of pens, and a case or 3 of paper, and you'd find, you know, 100 years my bones and a case filled with just handwritten stories in there, and that's what it'd be, because the stories mean more to me than anything else. Like I said, I write the stuff, and then I share it with other people, and hopefully they like it. And if they don't, you know, c'est la vie. What can I do? Right? But in the end, you know, I think story first, commerce second, but commerce is important,
Right.
just like Jay said, because we do have people that rely on us. I mean, I'm working with a dozen artists at this point, and they do rely on me to pay them on regularly. And, you know, some of them have flat, like Jay said, you know, if it wasn't for me, they wouldn't have been able to get through times. So it does get a little like, oh, damn, it's a little crazy, you know. So
that pressure sometimes will sneak up on you, right? And weigh you down, be like, oh my God, I really got to get this going. Because if not, right, then this collaborator is going to have to work on something else in the meantime to make money. And that's just going to delay my project in the long run.
well, and sometimes they may not even be able to find another project,
Sometimes
right? Because there's a lot of those, you know, because either their page rate is too high, or they don't have a style that people like I said, I tend to work with people with unconventional styles, right? So, you know, they can't always find the type of work, you know, that I would give them. So it just depends. Anyway, Mr. Rosario, you're up.
Yes. Excellent. All right. I'm torn between one of 2 questions. So if we have time, I'll ask the work ethic question, right? So let's get the personal get to know you question.
You have ethics?
Yes. Sometimes. Damn it. What should we call it? If it wasn't for comic books sucking the majority of the free time and extra income out of your pocket, what else would you be working on right now? And would you be trying to make money off of it?
Mr. James, you're up.
I would invest more time into the YouTube channel that I had that was analyzing story structure in video games, and I would try to make money off of that.
Okay.
All right. That's fair. All right, Mark, what are your thoughts?
I'm kind of doing it already. I screenwrite besides doing comics and stuff too. So, you know, we're working on short films right now, trying to get representation in Hollywood. So I'll probably be putting most of my time into that for the most part, you know, I think.
Very nice.
Okay, cool. Lisa, what are your thoughts?
Same as Mark and same as you. I also write prose. So I have a novel that is currently with 3 agents. You know, everyone cross your fingers, somebody's going to buy it. I have another one that I'm working on. I write short stories. I do a lot of other kinds of writing. So, you know, I find it hard to like juggle. Like we do a diary comic. So we do a comic pretty much like we used to do it every day. Now we do it like 2 or 3 times a week. So I write
still always in production.
We have a lot of comics that are going, but some of our longer projects, like we wrote a graphic novel last year I wrote a graphic novel last year that was kind of a imagined autobiography of our background noise comic characters. And so like that one has been a little bit on the shelf for a few months while I'm kind of working on some prose. So for me, it's hard to find enough time to do all the things, but like you, I have like the stories. I'd be on the island next to you with the pen writing the story.
Right.
Yeah.
And
my
John?
next.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I've been a working artist for a long time. I do some animation stuff. I do some video stuff. Right now, I work part-time at a podcasting studio for a podcasting network of like comedians, and I do like the intros for their shows, or when they play games, I'll do either a funny intro for the game, or graphics and stuff. So I guess I would probably be doing something still, I don't know, related to drawing or cartoons. I've also taught and might be teaching at Pratt this summer, 1 or 2 classes.
Very cool.
But it's always been like related to art. Sadly, I don't know how to do much of anything else.
You know what you're gonna do if you had more time?
What?
You'd be using that big ass bag of plaster of Paris that you've been lugging around.
There's an art project that we did a residency, an artist residency in France last year. And I have this whole other art project that I've been wanting to do very much. And I actually brought it there, was too busy doing videos and art comics, and then brought it back. And it's it's true. I haven't, I'm sure many of us do.
Sculpture projects.
An office full of crap, just waiting to, have the time to be working on the back burner there, burning up.
I'm with you with the teaching stuff too. I got we own 30% of a manga company. So I'm constantly teaching these dudes, the ins and outs, the storytelling and the actual, drawing and perspective and stuff like that. So I'm definitely into teaching. I appreciate that all day.
Nice.
All right, cool. Tom, what are your thoughts?
This is what I do. Whether it's creating comics or selling comics, my own or other comics, this is what I do, all of it. There is no 9 to 5 for me. So my creative time is split up however I want it to get split up. So in the past, I have actually written a book. A lot of people don't know because I haven't told anybody really. But it does exist. It is on Amazon if you all want to get it. I basically, what I did was, because I was curious if I could write a book in that prose format. And so much like how I taught myself how to write comics through basically just doing it and looking at examples of other people's scripts, I just kind of taught myself to write a book over a period of time. But what I did is I took one of my existing stories and just adapted it, because that way I knew the story and I could focus on the format of how this thing had to work. And so I took the original 6 issues of Ursa Minor and turned that into a book. And so the book itself is the 6 issues, but it's also expanded. There's stuff in the book that we didn't really have place to put in, 6 issues of a comic book. So it's an expanded story. So if anyone wants it, just go look up Ursa Minor on Amazon, and you can get the digital or you can buy a physical copy. And then I started to write a second one. I started to do the same thing with Legend of Oz, The Wicked West. I have the first chapter done on that, but I got so busy with all my other scripting and stuff that I couldn't dedicate time to it. So I would probably go and finish that Oz book and see if I get any sort of juice from writing prose, which I didn't really with Ursa Minor. But it might have been just because I was struggling to understand how to do it. Now that I kind of have a sense of it, maybe it would be better the second time around. But then the other part is movie scripts are basically comic scripts. So what I do with comics is very similar to what a movie script looks like. So I would definitely be in the either adapting what I do into that format, that area of selling to Hollywood or selling to producers in general, or making just new movie scripts. I had a producer the other day message me about wanting a script and a pitch deck for one of my books, and I was like, you know who you're talking to? I don't know what any of this shit means. Like, what are you talking about? But he did reach out and he was like, tell me what's going on. And I'm like, all right, we'll figure it out. I'll tell you what's going on. So we have had people interested, and so I guess I've got to kind of put myself in the position to say, like, yeah, here's a script, it's done. So put a couple of scripts under my belt and just have them for when people ask, I guess.
We can help you with that, Tom. We can help you with that. That's part of what we do.
That's great. Yeah, I've had a couple of people interested in a particular property that we have that I think would be very easy to translate into a low budget film, so or TV show or whatever they want to do with it. So that's kind of cool to have that kind of floating around, and people have often told me that my comics are very cinematic to them. Like they'll read a book and they're like, dude, I think it felt like I just saw a movie, and I was like, good. Because that's how I write on purpose. I'm doing this on purpose to kind of create a specific vibe for the comic, but then also at the same time be very aware of the ease of translation then from that property to another medium, whether it's TV or movies or whatever. So the fact that the fans have just come out and been like, dude, this is like a movie. Yes, that's what we want. That's what we want. So yeah, I would lean into something else, some other aspect of writing, or a couple of different pieces of writing, and just kind of see where it could take me.
All right, cool. Well, I mean, I don't know if I'd make any money at it, but if I had to just do something else other than what I'm doing with comics, with all that excess, I'd probably just travel. I travel and then do the one thing that I always wanted to do with Oswald. Was one of the things I used to do is whenever I traveled, I would write a story with Oswald in that place that I visited.
That's cool. That's real cool. I like that.
So if in one of my dreams is to still take a trip through Europe, and I would love to just take a nice 6-month, tour of like just every place in Europe and just go through the whole thing and then write all these crazy stories. And also even Asia. I mean, I'd love to go to like Thailand and the Philippines, because their cultures, they have such unique stories about monsters. Like their mythology is so different. It's just so unique. I would love to just like, how can I interweave my character into some of those stories, and I utilize some of those mythologies. I don't mind. I don't mind cultural appropriation. I don't have a problem.
But they got a lot of cool animal stuff in there too, so you fit right in, I think.
Exactly. So yeah. So but that's probably the thing I'm doing.
So you're just going to turn Oswald into a Pokemon? That's what's happening.
What?
Well, not exactly. Not exactly.
Oswald would be like Indiana Jones in there.
Right. Probably. It'd be more like that. Yeah. Probably more like that. All right, I don't know where Jay went, but I guess he can't answer his question. So, Tom, you got a question you want to ask real quick?
No, I was unaware of the Coco thing that was going on. So I have no specific questions for you right now.
All right, so you know what,
sir?
That's fair. I got one. I got one of your favorites, Tom. It's about Diamond.
Oh, Diamond. Oh, yeah. Let's talk about Diamond.
We get into the real stuff now. Huh?
All right. So Diamond is going on the auction block.
Oh, God, you were serious.
Give me one and only one prediction you may have concerning the sale. Right? So we all know the Diamond's going on the auction block. What do we think may occur during those transactions?
Amazon.
Well, I got something to tack onto that though, because I thought that Diamond had said that they were going to function until April 1st. That was their thing, is by April 1st, if no one had bought us, we're gone. So why are we now auctioning everything off in March?
I could have sworn. Oh, Jay, you're back. Answer your question.
Pizzeria. I would open up a pizzeria. There's an immediacy.
Okay, good. We're talking about Diamond now.
Oh, wait a second. Diamond. You hate talking about Diamond. How did you get sucked into a Diamond conversation? Let me finish up my pizza gimmick, okay? Let me finish it up. All right. You craft art, right? And you get that quick dopamine hit of somebody enjoying your work. All right. That's it. That's it.
There you go. Now we can go back.
Excuse me. Oh, and the other thing is, people will buy multiple slices, whereas opposed they will buy multiple issues of the same comic.
Well, that's false, because people buy variant covers. So
yeah, that's true.
You're already out of business. You're out of business, Jay.
Then.
How many times are they going to buy the variant covers? Okay.
He got different types of pizza.
Yeah, different types of pizza. That's right. That's right.
Mm.
All right.
Oh, there you go. Marvin says they submitted for layoffs that had to be done by April 1st. Yeah, my understanding is that Tim, now I don't remember if it's in April they're selling it off because there's an auction that's happening.
No, that's happening. Yeah, but I was when they first started talking about their bankruptcy and all that, they had said that we by April 1st, if no one has acquired us, they basically close their doors. So we still have a month before that situation. So
but the auction is going to happen, I believe, on the 18th.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
which is weird to me.
But they have interested parties.
Yes.
Yes, multiple.
They have over 30 of them. So, then I have my own prediction or one that I would want. So anyway, let's start with John because I skipped him over because I got confused with the boxes. So John, what are your thoughts, if any?
About Diamond?
Yes, like what do you think will happen in that auction, if anything, or
I mean, yeah. Honestly, it's not like a story I've paid that close attention to. I assume that Amazon or something else will buy it up or something for cheap, or Elon Musk will buy it and ruin it.
Well, you got the rest of the country.
Whatever's going to happen, it's probably going to be very disruptive and not good for comics. But I don't know. Diamond. I mean, it's been like such a hated thing for so long, but also a monopoly and necessary. So.
Yeah, and also floating the comic book industry for the last 20 years.
Yeah,
this is everybody's Diamond. They're such a piece of shit. Oh, they hate him. By the way, your local comic shop was probably being floated credit for years upon years upon years.
But that's what they used to do too, though, Tom. Before the distributor wars happened, right? They would open up an account with Friendly Franks, max that out. They wouldn't pay that off. Then they'd go to Capital City.
But this is my point. It's not the distributor that's the problem. Whoops. Did I say the soft part out loud?
Yep, that's what you should have said. Exactly.
There's so much more to this than just, yes, Diamond had flaws. So no one's going to say that Diamond didn't have flaws. But there's so much more to this entire infrastructure problem and the chain of command than just Diamond didn't do its job. There's way more to it than that. So Absolutely. Everybody that comes at this is like, oh, they're getting what they deserve and whatever. I'm like, you don't understand this business. You don't have any understanding of it whatsoever. So stop talking about it and listen to the people that have been involved in it for 10, 20, 30, 40 years because they know what the reality is and they understand it. It drives me crazy when people just pop into things and they're like, well, they get what they deserve. Screw those guys.
My thing ultimately, though, as far as Diamond is concerned, man, is this, right? So you brought up the points right there, Jay. You talk about Friendly Franks, you talk about Capital Cities and all that. Yeah. But also you can take that to what Tom's saying. It's the direct market. Now I'm not a hater of the direct market, but here I go with my Wayback Machine talking about how you used to be able to get comics everywhere. Obviously that's not coming back, but they have an opportunity to make some changes that will hopefully if they can make the right changes and it can, like you were saying, Tom, they float in the industry, right? So let's go from there. They float in the industry, and if you're going to float the industry, float the whole industry. I know that the LCSs, everything is a real estate game for them. Okay, every space is real estate. So yeah, they're like, we got to play the real estate game, the big two, whatever. Okay, fine. I'm with that. I understand that. I'm not an idiot as far as that's concerned. But for those guys who actually are serious about giving indies a chance, people will be like, oh, no, this, that, this, that, and this. From 1983 to about 1988, 89, look, the indie scene was buttressing the comic scene. People can say whatever they want to, but they wouldn't have no Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, no Bone, no nothing, if it wasn't for the indie scene. So don't try to act like, I don't want people trying to act like with this whole Diamond thing that indie scene has never been viable. That's bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then the other side of that coin is people blame that on the industry falling apart at the end. Like, no, that was the speculators. Those are speculators coming in and just buying 20 copies of everything and completely throwing all the numbers completely off. So when the bubble popped, all it really did was revert to normal.
Yeah,
all the speculators left and everything went back to normal.
Absolutely.
But because we had such a huge climb, that pop was a big hurt.
But look, how many comic shops have you went into that is worse than a mom and pop shop, right? How many went into the comic shop industry thinking, oh man, I love comics, I can do this, without having any knowledge of accounting, budgeting, ordering, without understanding any of that stuff. All right. And they shit the bed on their own. How many of them were actual mom and pop retirees looking to generate extra money, right?
But then there's also the predatory elements of the publishers, particularly like Marvel and DC, where Marvel's like, hey, come and buy 500 copies of our book and we'll give you a variant cover. And these retail stores are buying 500 copies of something that they have no chance of selling that many copies. And then, of course, they can't pay their bills. Diamond says, well, don't worry about it. We'll float you for a while. Keep on going. And then we have this huge problem that just keeps building and building and building all over time.
Well, that's not their only predatory practice.
No, not at all. I'm just throwing that one out there.
The shelves of product that they're not going to carry after 6 months, blocking out shelf space for other books that could have maybe.
Yeah, but that's not new either.
Oh, of course.
If you go back to the 90s and you start watching, even back in Wizard, right? Wizard magazine, they used to show you the pie chart all the time of Diamond and Marvel trying to jockey for percentage. And then Image came in and they took a nice, piece of the pie in there. And they used that as like a thing, like, oh, look at the market share, look at the market share, look at the market share. Like that's all they were worried about was market share. Put SKUs on their shelf.
That's big business. That's capitalism, right? Let's get all of that person's money before they go broke spending it on somebody else. Right. We'd rather them go broke spending it on all of us. That's capitalism.
Guys, hold on. Tony, please.
I'm sorry, Tony.
You guys are just gonna hog up all the air in the room.
Ooh, sorry. Me and Tom can keep going. I apologize.
Well, I'm not particularly well versed in the subject as you guys are. I see fears about Diamond just going away, just being kind of lost to time. I don't think that's going to happen. But I think for indies in the meantime, I think this is kind of a great era where direct access to the consumer is never been easier.
Sure.
So, I really don't know how much an indie truly needs Diamond when they can just kind of go out there on the internet and actually, distribute their book.
All right, that's fair. Lisa, do you have any thoughts on it?
Nope, I have no thoughts on it.
What, Lisa?
I take the fifth on
Tony, you're not wrong, and I've said similar things. I've told people, I always hear people, "Oh, I got to get a publisher for my book." I'm like, why?
No, right.
What's the publisher going to do for you? But what it does do is it puts your book in front of a lot of eyeballs with a lot of ease of use, which is really the ultimate value. You're not going to make any money in that retail side of things. But like I've always said, if you treat that as like a marketing expense, you're going to spend X amount of money to put your book in X amount of stores in front of X amount of eyeballs and at least hopefully get your money back, like break even. Then it's just a marketing expense. It's send the book out, get a little money, send the book out, get a little money. So it's just marketing and sales. And then if you have the right sort of advertisement in the book for your creators and so on, then when somebody buys it at the retail store, they'll go, oh, who's this Tony James guy? Let me go then to the internet, Facebook, Instagram, Kickstarter, whatever. Let me find out what Tony's doing. That's the value of it. But there's no money in the retail side of things. And that's another thing that people really have to learn.
Sure. Yeah, this is where I disagree with Tom, just a shade. I think there is a little bit of money.
A little bit, yes.
There's a little bit.
You got to sell a lot of units to even make a little bit.
Right. Yeah. You got to change your business plan though, right? If you're going that route, you're looking at a volume-based business plan.
Yeah.
Right? The other way that Tony was talking about, DTC, direct to consumer, you have a margin-based business plan.
Mhm.
You got to know what you're doing. Right? We came into comic books thinking, oh my God, all we had to do was make a book and right, the world will land on our feet. What we figured out the hard way was we had to learn a bunch of business strategies, right?
Mhm.
Marketing, become self-sufficient, time management, people skills, logistics, coordinating, and a ton of other
Still
things.
working on that people skills thing.
Right.
A ton of other things on top of that. All we wanted to do was make a comic book. Well, if you have a name and you're a draw, yeah, a publisher will pick you up easily.
Mhm.
But if you don't have a name, if you're not a draw, if you're not somebody who's going to sell tickets or sell books, you got to bootstrap your way up there till you become that.
Yeah, the catch-22 is for a publisher to want you. They've got to see that you've already done it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. And that isn't that hilarious though?
Right. But how many times have we said, guys, back and forth all the time? A lot of folks who are working in the bigger industries can't do what we're doing right now. They don't have those skills that we've developed the hard way. And they're ready to give up, right? I know this because I've spoken to quite a few creators who have always had something cooking in the fire to crowdfund their own book, right? And once they're ready to pull the trigger, they get a job, right? A freelance gig with some book, and that's it. They've never done it. Like, oh,
Right.
you know, it was too much for me. I didn't know what I was doing. Oh, I wasn't ready for it. Oh, I needed this help. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, Jay, in the end, it is truly a love letter, right? So here we go. John, Lisa, do you want me to play this video?
Yeah, sure.
Oh
Go
my
ahead.
God.
I give that a 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10.
Well, you know, I was trying.
This comic began on National Pizza Day 2018. I noticed it was National Pizza Day, and I came up with an idea to draw a little comic. And I grabbed a Sharpie and a piece of printer paper, and I drew up this comic real quick. That was about something that actually happened with Lisa and myself. And I brought it down to Lisa and showed to her, and she laughed. And we thought, well, we can post this on Facebook. It'll be funny, and all our friends will laugh. But then right away, we kind of both knew that this was it. So is this book just a collection of comics?
Well, since you asked, and as we started to develop the comics, we learned a lot about craft. We learned a lot about storytelling. We learned a lot about the way that we relate to the world and how we related to each other. And we wanted to be able to share that with everybody. And so we started to write essays, and the essays that are in this book have never been seen before. And they really help to explain the story of this year. So we're really happy to share this book with the world. And part of the reason that we're doing this now is that we have over 1,000 comics on Instagram. They're kind of lost in the Instagram archives. Nobody really goes back and reads the ones at the beginning, and they still have a lot of value. And we want to make sure that they have a place in the world. The world needs light, the world needs laughter, and the world needs books.
Well said.
Yeah, that's great. I like that.
Yeah, thanks for playing that. I
I
guess.
like that. I like that a lot.
I love it. I love it. I
I
love it.
love that, man. I'm loving that.
All right. So Lisa, John, whoever wants to take over, will walk us through.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
Are we ready to present?
So a lot of what's on this page is really what was in that little video. You know, we the first year, you know, our comic is a diary comic, as we said earlier. You know, we talk about our life, we talk about our world, we talk about our kids who at the time were kind of teens on their way out to college. But we also talk about politics a little bit, but in sort of a fun, funny way. We anthropomorphize some of our horribleness that we are now facing now. Also our anxieties, our mental health issues. You know, we try to talk about them in a visual comic way. And, you know, we as we got into the stories, we started to get a lot more personal and start to talk about things that were maybe a little bit scary. We talked about, you know, fights and things like that, and people really loved it. And
You love when we fight.
we learned, you know, even even when the scarier that something feels to us to talk about, the more relatable it is to people. And it was very cathartic. It was very, exciting, not only because, it sort of diffused some of our own issues about some of this stuff, but it also was like amazing because people were really being helped and like really they were really relating. So, that's what this book is about. This is the first of many books that we want to put together. Some of the other books will have different themes, etc. But we're super excited about this one. Taken us a little while to get here. There were a lot of bumps in the road to move from. We're not afraid of doing work, but just getting to that next step of, how do we do it? Do we do traditional publishing? Do we find an indie publisher? We just decided, to take the reins and do it ourselves. And that's why we're doing a Kickstarter.
Yes, like you said, having the skills of just making the comic, got that, but all those other skills.
Yeah, it was hard.
It's that doesn't come as natural to me. So,
we're sort of like a 2-person band. And so for this book, we are hiring somebody to help us, to do some of the, just to assist John with some of the art, just to get it out the door.
Not with the art, with like the processing, like bookmaking and book design and stuff like that.
Not the art. He's doing all the art himself.
Yeah. The layout and the design.
Layout and design.
Right. Yeah. Book design.
Yeah.
And also, we're going to be doing some cleanup on some of the comics. They were a little crowded. We're maybe like expanding them a little bit so that they're not quite as wordy, some stuff like that.
Color palette.
And the color palette is.
We were very like loosey-goosey at the beginning.
By loosey-goosey, meaning I refused to pick a color palette.
This is one of our like issues.
And then it became like an OCD thing.
Couples counseling over the fucking color palette.
We have, since we started this thing in 2018, we've been fighting over the color palette. Kind of OCD in that, like, I'm like, we've never had a color palette, so now we can't have a color palette, but at least it's like going to print. We need to have a color palette, and I agree with her.
And even on this Kickstarter page, we did.
We tried to do a little.
We did some rejiggering on some of the colors. So
Gotcha. I mean, it looks great.
I like it. I like it a lot.
I love it. Yeah,
looks great. So I mean, hopefully, hopefully. Well, look, you're almost there. You got 13 days. I don't think you have any problems getting to where you're gonna want to get to. So hopefully, we get you a few more backers.
We really appreciate this. And I had a question to you guys because one of you, and I think it might have been Tom, mentioned finishing a Kickstarter and then doing again on Indiegogo. And we've always been curious about why does somebody pick Kickstarter or Indiegogo, one or over the other? Or
that was me, and it's largely preference. You have preferences for social media apps. The same is true for crowdfunding. So to just put it on one, I think is sort of like limiting yourself, and you kind of get in front of eyeballs by putting it on at least one other crowdfunding site.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I tackle this? Can I
Go
tackle
ahead.
Yeah.
Kickstarter is the 800-pound gorilla, right? By far. No other platform has as many followers, subscribers, people signed up to Kickstarter than Kickstarter does.
Yeah.
For those who have been doing this for a while, that they're pitching it to folks who do not know about Kickstarter, right? You want to say, "Oh, I've got a book," but then you got to explain to them what Kickstarter is. Well, by the time you're done telling them what Kickstarter is, they have no interest in your book at all, right? With Kickstarter, you already have those people signed up, so you don't have to sign up new people for this. You're actively triggering their consumer base. Whereas some of these other platforms, none of these other platforms have as many users as Kickstarter does. So it's
Indiegogo used to be the second. It still probably is technically the second place to go, but it has a very specific user base now. And it also has really bad just functionality. The site is just terrible as far as searching, and it's horrible. I think it's not going to be too long before a site called Fund My Comic becomes the easy and obvious number 2 Kickstarter, if it isn't truly already.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, the reason that I thought Tom said it was because Tom's wearing that hypno helmet.
It's because I talk all the time.
No, that thing, you've mesmerized me.
Not the hypno helmet.
No, but Jay, I think that's a good point. And like the reason that we picked Kickstarter was partly because I thought it was, you know, like you said, kind of a good marketing venue, so that we really do. We have like a lot of followers on Instagram. We have like almost 25,000. So it's like we have a good solid base, but we really, but as the algorithm has shifted with new policies, et cetera, our everybody's work is only getting channeled to one. It's getting channeled to whatever people are already interested
narrow
in.
channel.
It's a very narrow channel. Like when we first started, we would get like 6, 7, 9,000, hits on our comics. Now we get like 600, and it's just that things are not going out. And I've talked to other friends who are creators, not always comic creators, and they've said things. I know. Like I have a friend who wrote a book and it's just not getting out there. I'm not even seeing it. Right. And it's just that it's not it like you said, it's like getting it out to people who might really be interested and really might find value in it. And so we thought Kickstarter would be a good way.
Kickstarter has the most active regular users of all of these sites.
Are you using a mailing list on a regular basis?
We have a mailing list, and I haven't been great at it. Full disclosure, like I'm a marketing person for my day job, and so it's just I don't want to do this kind of stuff for myself, and it's like doctor heal thyself, and I'm just not doing it. I'm sitting here with like an open wound, saying, "Could somebody get me a Band-Aid?"
This should have been a slam dunk for you. What you said that, I'm like, what? What do we pay for those people?
You might want to try Substack.
I have Substack. I don't do it. I have Medium. I have Substack. I have it. I'm just not. I'm not consistent. It's 2025. Whatever. What do you call it?
I don't know, but about the consistency.
Yeah.
That's why this comic. We've been trying to work on something together for a long time, and the reason that background noise comic took off, and that's like our kind of focus now, is because of the consistency on Instagram and some other places. But we don't want to be beholden to Instagram. We kind of like to move away from it.
You two guys are in Brooklyn, right?
Yes. We are in Brooklyn.
Right.
Yeah.
So you got the Brooklyn Comic Con coming up in June. Then you have the Industry City Comic Con in Brooklyn coming up in April.
That's true.
If you have those products or stills or anything you can bring to the table, it's a great way. I mean, it's marketing, right?
That's smart. Are you in Brooklyn too, Jay?
I'm in Brooklyn, yeah.
Well, we're going
to be. You guys are great marketing in and of itself. Yeah. Literally, your situation, you guys are married. You guys are just like that. You're telling this story. It's going to be a diary comic. You guys are walking marketing, to be honest with you. So, you want to try to make sure that you guys are out there.
Yeah, we and it's Mocha next week. I don't know if you guys know about that.
Yeah, Mocha is great. That's going to be a great place for you.
Yeah. We and also we're going to be at I don't know if you know Jay or anybody else is in New York. We're going to be at a conference called Fanfare. It's actually part of the It's a high school. It's a New York City public school art school, but it's a really great little Comic-Con.
I don't know about that one. No.
It's like their school Comic-Con, but they like have all these like really high profile alumni.
So
we'll talk after the show if you guys got a little bit more time, right? Because I don't want to take away time from anybody else over here. But
is it art and design or SVA?
Yes, it is art and design.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So in the 60s. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I've been to that one.
Yeah.
All right. So here we go. Star Noir. Tony, do you want me to play this video?
Sure.
All right, cool. Tony has the best videos.
Hello again, readers. Last time in Los Angeles, our ace detective and his eager rookie set off to find their elusive killer. They confirmed that the mysterious shapeshifter lurks among Alan's fellow officers in Central Station. Alan had a close encounter with one of these strange beings, a real cookie with peepers to die for. He learns the Central detectives are being hunted and digs deeper to find out who killed Perkins. Meanwhile, Perkins' partner, Ray Foster, found himself in the soup, hunted by the very same killer. In our next chapter, the stakes are even higher, as our killer stacks more bodies than an OnlyFans model. Our two detectives peel back the layers to this onion, meeting kooky characters like Orson Welles. A collision course is imminent, with more twists and turns than a 10-cent carnival ride. Book 3 is penned by Mr. Tony James, a writer of sorts, a lover of old noir and science fiction. Returning with vigor are his 3 able-bodied artists, aces in their own field, much like our detective. And beat me Daddy 8 to the bar. Take a gander at those rewards. The exclusives are the real cat's meow. Be sure to peruse the add-ons as well. Commemorate your purchase with these additional items. Don't be a fuddy-duddy. Back Star Noir today. It's the only way to defeat the communists.
Oh my goodness.
Yay, that was
Good job, Tony. I like that. That's great, man. That's pretty sweet.
Thank you. Yeah, so this is Star Noir. This is LA Confidential meets the X-Files. There are 6 books in this series. We're on the 3rd book. We raised over $15K on this 3rd book here on Kickstarter back in November. And as I've done with the previous 2 books, I do a second chance campaign on Indiegogo to kind of open up another funding opportunity to bring in more readers. So it's been awesome. People really love the story. They're very, very hooked into the first 2 books so far, and just having a really great time telling this murder mystery about this 1940s detective named Alan Miller. He teams up with this gray alien to stop this shapeshifter from killing LAPD officers in Central Station. There's a lot of noir elements, a lot of sci-fi alien moments that kind of fuse together, trying to create this balance between noir and sci-fi.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
The total series is 6 issues, right?
Yeah, and this is the 3rd book here. And if you're a new reader, the 6th Extinction is the perk tier to jump in on. There's also a digital catch-up tier as well.
Gotcha. All right, cool. Now, just out of curiosity, do you have the whole thing written out, or are you just working on it?
Yeah, I had it all written out before we did the first book.
Okay, good.
Yeah, just I mean, especially when you're doing a murder mystery, you want to have all the answers up front, so you don't paint yourself into a corner and then start trying to get out with contrivances.
Right.
So we wrote it out first, broke it up into 6 books. Now we're on the 3rd one.
All right, cool. Very nice, very nice. Now, just out of curiosity, when do you expect that 4th issue to come out?
The third one, probably the same time as the other ones. So the summer, probably August.
All right, cool. Very nice. All right, cool, man. I mean, listen.
How far along are you on that one?
We got over a third of this one in the can. This is a 50 page book. They're all about the same length.
Nice.
Very nice. All right.
Why that many pages?
That's just kind of naturally where the story went.
Okay.
I was trying to just tell the story in an economical way, but also not try to stifle it. Just let it breathe a little bit, and also kind of have a similar pacing to like a 1940s Hollywood movie. Just like let it breathe a little bit. You still feel like we're trying to go somewhere, but it's not in a rush.
Right.
Gotcha. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Listen, brother, you know what I'm waiting for. So
I know the collected edition. JD comes in at the very end.
Yeah, I'll be there. Listen, we'll be back here in 2028. I'll be like the hardcover. And believe me, I'll be there. All right. Listen, it looks great, man. I mean, you still got time.
It does look amazing.
You're gonna get to where you want to go. So I mean, but it looks great. You always put out top quality stuff.
Cool, thank you.
All right, cool. All right, let me pull up something else.
Worst transition ever.
Yeah, man.
Bad transition. I'm sorry.
You know what? Hit the last 2, the Judah Fist and the extras. Hit those.
Hit those first.
Yeah, hit those first. The only 2 you got to hit. It should be in the end part of the private chat.
Yeah, I got you.
Thanks, man. Much appreciated.
All right, let's start with Judah Fist. All right, so there we go. Walk us through it, Mark.
All right, so this is my webcomic, Judah Fist. We do stuff we do our webcomics first, then we do collected editions, right? So Judah Fist is about this guy from our time who is like a cyborg super soldier. He wakes up in the future. he finds out that he is not alone. He has relatives still left in the form of these 3 little kids. So he basically doing what a family man does, raises these 3 little kids. But the enemies that he had back in our time are still around, and they find out about these little kids, so they're trying to take them so they could use their DNA to make soldiers like him. That's what Judas Fist is about. It's a lot of hip hop, a lot of golden age hip hop influence with cyberpunk for the most part.
All right, cool. Now you're both the artist and the writer?
I'm both the artist and the writer. Yeah, my buddy Joe letters it. Our goal, like I said, is that we get 3 chapters. I'm working on 2nd chapter right now. To get 3 chapters, we're going to color it and put it out as a graphic novel. We're going to do our Kickstarter then.
All right, cool. Now, what type of timeline are you looking for that?
I'm trying to get this done before the year's out. I'm pushing hard.
Very nice, very nice. All right, because I know you've been working. I mean, how long have we been talking? 2 years now?
2 years. The thing, my main thing is that, like I said, we own 30% of this manga company, so I've been spending a lot of time getting those guys together. So I've been not focusing on my own stuff, but now I have the time. So I have the running time, the running window. So I'm working hard to get it done at this point.
Mark, I'm sorry. You're going to collect this when?
At the end of the year, we're going to collect it.
Okay. Are you going to offer also a color version of it? I remember.
Yeah, we're going to get that. The Kickstarter is going to be what we're going to use to pay for the color.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah. Now, how many pages total do you think of that?
It's going to be about 70 to 80 pages.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Listen, man, I'm looking forward to it, man. It looks.
Man, I'm having a lot of fun. So I try to get it done and try to, my thing is funny because I've just been really finding my audience lately.
Mm.
I've really been finding it, and it's kind of cool because, people get to tell me what I'm doing wrong, what I'm doing right. I try to internalize that and take it back to, the drawing board.
Right. Just remember, collect those emails and get them on your mailing list so that when you launch it, they can be there to buy it.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Look, if they can criticize, they can buy it.
Right. We do a lot of our mailing list. We get a lot of them from cons. We are very funny about their mailing list. We're like, hey, leave us something.
Right. Gosh. No, it looks really good. All right.
Oh, thank you, man. Much appreciated. Now we got one more over here. The extras. This is I always miss out on the extras. It should be at the bottom in the private chat.
Hold on. Shining Otaku?
No, it should be the bottom. It says the extras at the bottom of the chat.
Okay, I got you.
Right.
Of course. That's the one I didn't open up.
Oh, okay.
The extras. Here we go.
Okay, thanks, man. All right, so the extras, my studio mate Jeff Lilly and Katie. Oh man, she's gonna kill me.
Katie Hodges.
Katie and Jeff, and they have another third partner with them.
Jeff Lilly.
Pam Bliss. They do this book. It's a slice of life, kind of like a old English schoolgirl story, but the twist is that the school in and of itself it kind of transports from place to place in this world, so it kind of teleports and whatnot. So these girls, it's really, like I said, slice of life is about these young women who are going to school and going through stuff young women go through. It's a boarding school, and they're it's got some supernatural elements to it. It's kind of Harry Potter-ish. And again, the slice of life. It's not like some big grand story. It's just the daily things these young women go through. And the women happen to be from a whole bunch of different dimensions and a whole bunch of different places.
Gotcha. Looks cool. Looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun, man. I mean, but funny because, again, we collect this. We like on our 4th graphic novel right now with this.
Oh,
and yeah, people like it. We got a little fan club that's always, talking about us on Instagram. So
nice. So where have you been releasing? Is it on Kickstarter? I mean, I haven't seen these on Kickstarter.
Yeah, we haven't been kickstarting them yet because, again, Jeff Jeff has got a lot of income sources, so he can kind of afford to float it.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, good for Jeff.
Yeah, for now, when we get ready to color it, he's gonna do the same thing I'm doing. He just doesn't know it yet.
Gotcha. All right. How many pages so far are they into it?
Man, we got to be there. Man, they've never missed a weekly update, so we've got to be in the 300, we got to be in the 300s on this one.
Gotcha. All right. Cool.
And the thing that's always a webcomic first, so you can all 4 chapters here. All 4 chapters are here on this website right here. So,
right. I mean, it looks really nice. Now, are all 3 of them artists? Is one of them a writer, or they are like?
Jeff is the writer, and Pam Bliss is the writer. She does a little art too in some of the in some like the fill-ins. But Katie Hodges is the principal artist.
Artist, okay, yeah, because I saw like some of the panels. I saw an artist shift. Like there's a shift.
Yeah, that's because see the thing is that Pam comes from the zine scene. You remember how the people used to do a lot of zines and stuff? Pam comes from that. And she's also been writing with Jeff for a long time. So they pretty much do the principal writing, and Katie does the story. I mean, Katie does all the art. Sorry about that.
Right. Yeah, man, it looks fun, man. Looks fun.
But my thing is, when I got the first book in my hand, I was like, man, this thing is better in book form. No, yeah, man, they have a lot of fun doing it. You know, they're really passionate about it. And we like it, so.
Yeah, when do they now where they release?
Every Friday, 3:00 they update.
No, but the physical books, where are they?
All the physical books, we usually do a lot of selling at cons. We're gonna start selling through Indie Planet in the next couple of days, actually.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, right. And then we have a lot, like we have a lot of it's at a lot of physical destinations here in Michigan and Detroit area.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. All right, cool. I mean, for those of us not in Detroit.
Right. Yeah. That's what we're going to start selling on Indie Planet. You know, again, we run around like chickens with our heads cut off, and, that's no excuse, but at this point, we have to put it on Indie Planet. A lot of people are asking for it. So.
Right. All right. Listen, man, it looks great.
No, thank you, man. Thank you very much.
Got to get yourself a Kickstarter, get it out there.
Yes, we do.
So, all right, cool. All right. Tom, did you come up with a question yet?
No, but I have something that I shared. Everybody's talking about their stuff.
Yeah, you show us some stuff, Tom.
There you go. All right, Tom, talk about it.
So, for those that don't know, this is our 15-year anniversary for Big Dog Inc. We had a lot of stuff planned, but we're actually putting some things. We're pushing things back this year because we have some family health things that are going on. So we were going to launch our Penny for Your Soul campaign this weekend, but we're going to push that into April, and we're going to shift our release schedule for the year. So we'll be announcing how we're going to kind of handle that throughout the year. But this is the one thing that's not coming off the list this year for sure, which is our first ever omnibus for The Legend of Oz, The Wicked West. So this will be like the first 4 volumes. Will be like 400 pages, big honking book that you can, kill a man with if you need to, I guess. Nia Rufino did our brand new cover there. She's the only creative person who's done a cover for every issue for the series that we've done. So it was an easy choice to have her come back and put this fancy cover on the omnibus for us. So this will be part of our September. Last year we did a thing called Book Fair on Kickstarter where we had a new book, but it was mostly just putting up the old trade paperbacks and stuff, like literally like a back to school book fair, and it went over tremendously. So we're going to do that again in September, and this will be the primary book for the book fair. And then of course you'll be able to get all the trade paperbacks and stuff for all of our other titles at the same time too. So this will be coming in September. No one has seen this before until tonight. So you guys get the preview exclusive.
Very nice. Yeah, it looks really nice. All right.
I discovered you guys through Nia.
Through what?
I discovered you guys through Nia Rufino.
Oh yeah. We get that all the time. Yeah.
Years ago, I discovered you guys through her. Years ago.
We get people that come up to our booth all the time, and they're like, why do I know what this is, but I don't know what it is? I'm like, because you follow Nei probably. And they're like, oh yeah, that's her art, isn't it? Yep, that's it.
Mm-hmm. Very nice. Now, when is the omnibus coming out? The Omni?
September. September will be the campaign. Yeah.
Okay.
And then with a little bit of luck, we should be able to ship them right around Christmas time.
Right.
Gotcha. Yeah, it'll take a few months. All right, cool. Look, listen, man, looks awesome. You know.
Yeah, it does, man. It looks really good.
All right, cool. So we're back to the question time. Do you have a question?
No.
Jay?
What? You know better. You know better.
I know.
I have all the answers that you need.
I got that. Okay. You try.
Jay said he had 2 questions.
That's true.
Did for what?
Did for what?
What? All right. How do you break up your work schedule? Right. Let's say you got 2 hours, 5 hours a day to commit to everything you got to do. What happens within those 2 hours? What happens within that window? Right. How do you give 15 minutes to emails, 15 minutes to editing previous work? What happens in that window?
All right, Mark, you're up.
Man, shoot. It's weird. I'm a big task list guy, huge task list guy. So I might be on my lunch break at my job and on Friday, and I'm making my tasks for this week, right? Next week, right? So I usually start out any writing stuff I got to do. I'll start out. Actually, no. I start out with any drawing stuff I got to do, right? So let's say I'm doing edits on a comic for one of my manga dudes. I'll start out with that. Then I'll go to do my own art for like Judah Fist, and I'm working on something else right now. And then at the end of the night, I'll go ahead and I'll do whatever little writing stuff I got to do. Try to, do my outlines and start, making my bullet points, stuff like that. That's pretty much what it is. That's my routine.
Okay, cool. Lisa, what are your thoughts?
Well, I don't really think of emails as part of my work time. Like I try to kind of keep that separate. But like I said earlier, I have to kind of balance out when I'm working on prose versus when I'm working on comics. Mm-hmm. Although since we have like this continuous deadline, we do have a lot of times where John's just like, we need the comic about X for now, and I have to like bang it out. So I do kind of squeeze those in sometimes, but normally I either I'm sort of like you, Mark. I try to keep a task list and try to go to the thing that's the most important, but I try to block out time to do new writing.
Right.
That's sort of different. So like tonight, after we hang up with this, we'll probably go watch the Oscars, and I might do some editing while we're watching, because I can look for typos and kind of tighten up a story while I'm watching TV. But if I today, I had a few hours, I sat with some friends, and I crafted, I wrote new stuff. I didn't work on comics today. I worked on prose. I haven't worked on prose in a really long time because of the Kickstarter. We've been very focused on comic stuff, but I really have to give myself a little bit of time to get into something.
Right.
Sometimes otherwise I'm just lost. It's kind of where is that story? And I'm a big fan of listening out loud. So I use a lot of audio tools on Word or on Scrivener or even on Google Docs, where I listen to my work out loud, because it really helps me hear the things that I can't hear by just looking again and again and again. Right. It's always that thing about getting that emotional distance so you can really see where the story is and where the flaws are. So
what was that called again? I'm sorry.
So if you're on Microsoft Word, for example, or Scrivener is another writing tool that I use, that it's better for novels because it kind of chunks it out in a certain way. Right. You can have the computer read it out loud to you. I like that. And then it reads it in a robo voice. There are other softwares where you can kind of have other people read out loud.
And don't let Jay do that.
What?
I said, don't let Jay get a hold of that.
Yeah, no. I like that, because listening back to my work, when I'm stuck in traffic, like you said, it'll help me find.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Scrivener. Okay.
It's also like good if you're blocked or if you feel like you can't get started. If you listen, a lot of times it activates that part of your brain that wants to react to it. And so even if you think that you can't start writing, if you just listen to your work, you can start writing again, or you'll get into the story again. But it's sometimes it's hard to sit down and just force yourself to do it. But if you can do it every day, you feel so much better. I wouldn't say I do it I mean, I don't know. I pretty much write every day, right, John?
Well, you do something every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not like Lisa will do. Like she'll do collaborative things with her writer friends, like she did today in person. But she'll like call some up and like say, let's do a 20-minute sprint before we start working. Our day jobs. And to me, I'm like, it takes me 20 minutes to like sit in my chair. I was gonna joke like that like what is a task list? What is what is time management?
Yeah, you said that today. You were supposed to make a project plan. Did you do it? All right, whatever.
Anyway,
I love the dynamic.
Me too, man. I'm here for that.
Two different ends of the spectrum. Oh my god.
Yeah. See, I'm always trying to work on something, I'll be drawing on the subway to work. I'll be at work sneaking in, a little something else, but. Yeah, honestly, I'm all over the place. My way of doing it is doing like a little bit of like a bunch of the things that I have to do, but never all the things.
But then like when we have a deadline, like if we, if you do, because since we do a diary comic, we have a deadline like pretty much every day or two. He is very good at
when we have a deadline,
he doesn't sleep a lot.
It helps.
No, it's not.
He'll
sleep.
just like be up all night, and I know he's just nodding off on the couch, but he is
not.
He's sometimes working sometimes nodding off on the couch.
Nice. All right, cool. James or Tony, what are your thoughts?
Can you repeat the question? I was absorbed in everybody's answers.
He never writes it down.
No, you gotta grab it while it's there, baby. You know what I mean? It's like a shooting star. Once it's gone, it's gone. It came out.
It's in the ether.
As I remember it, as a productivity question, I create a giant list that's categorized between projects and personal stuff. I order them in most demanding importance. And then I chip away at a 90-20 schedule. I just keep doing that until the list is gone.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right. Very nice. Mark, how do you work at it?
No, Mark already is.
Oh, Mark went first. Yes.
Oh my God! Look at this! Look at this!
I already told
Mark gets to go twice.
What
kind of show is this?
I'm only about 30% here. So
oh my gosh!
I have other things going on.
My day, it's all chaos. Every day is chaos. I try to the night before when I'm going to bed. Usually I'll like read some comics or something to kind of shut my head off, or just have some background TV show going on or whatever. But I'll try to think about okay, tomorrow I got to write this. Tomorrow this artist needs this.
Right.
I got to ship this. Like just put some bullet points in my brain. Like I know I need to knock these handful of things out. And then the rest is chaos because I'll wake up in the morning and my phone will have 12 messages from artists. I'll be like, okay, got to go through all of this. Let me art direct all of this nonsense and back and forth and back and forth. I'll spend the first 2 hours of waking up still in bed, just on my phone. Fix it. This is fine. Fix it. That's how it starts. And then I get up and I try and recall the bullet points and, we knock those bullet points out. And then really it's, I gotta keep writing all the time so I can stay ahead of everybody. So at that point, it's more or less like what's needed first, because I'm usually writing 3 or 4 things at the same time. But if I know that from what I just got in the morning, oh, this guy's on page 10 and I need to make sure we're ahead of these guys, I write his stuff, then I write this stuff and I write this stuff. But sometimes it doesn't work that easily. Like sometimes you got to sit down and you're like, I just don't want to write horror stuff today. And so you just sort of, what are you feeling like, Tom? And you know, you shift over to superheroes, you shift over to Westerns, you know, whatever else you got going on. You're just like, I don't want to write that one today. I'm going to write that one. So you just do it. But you have to understand that at some point you got to come back to it. But what I found is that if you've got some kind of block going on, that you're kind of forcing yourself in one type of thing. If you have other things happening, particularly if there are other genres, and you can kind of jump around, it will kind of clear up your head a little bit, because you're like, oh, now I'm in a Western, and now I'm in a horror, and now I'm in a superhero, and now, you know, whatever. So that's always been an advantage to me, because I've always written a lot of different stuff. But that's basically it. It's just sort of you know, contained chaos at all times. And then like today, I went down and shipped 100 packages for a Kickstarter today too. So, you know, it's just whatever's kind of got to get done. And then once the got to get done is done, then you can play around a little.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not too dissimilar to Tom. It's a lot of chaos. Yeah. Answering emails, and yeah, whatever needs to get done gets done. The last 3 days, I've just been packing books for the last Kickstarter. So it's been a lot of that. I'll usually take out an hour. I'll make sure that I at least have an hour or two to work on something creative, whether it be writing, lettering, editing. I make sure I get some of that stuff done in. A lot of time is spent lettering. I letter all my books. So, you know, I don't think there's a day of the week I'm not lettering, but you know, I try to do an hour or so of that. Then I'll do some editing, I'll do some writing or whatever, but it's some kind of mix of that. And then as far as answering emails and stuff, I try to burn through that as quickly as I can, but sometimes it's hard, you know, and then booking the shows sometimes can be a pain in the butt too. So yeah, but you know, you get it all done one way or the other.
Sure.
You know. All right, Jay, answer your own question. What do you do? Good luck.
He only asked that question so he could figure out what to do.
I know.
It's fire and chaos. I love it when everybody says they got their to-do list, their bullet points, because like Tom Calderon, it's put out whatever fire is happening at that moment, right? It's that. And it's like, John, I love your deadline thing, right? Because my deadline thing, when I got a deadline, that's when I want to work on the other stuff the most.
Right.
I bring the laptop to work with me. I get there about maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours early, and boom, I'm typing out because I'm upstairs. I'm in a swing room all by myself. Nobody bothering me at all. And the great thing is, in that building, there's no internet service, so I can't fiddle around, you know, diving down some internet black hole. And I'm just there. But like Tom said, right? Oh, I don't feel like doing zombies today. Okay, so I'll do this. But I have a script that is due, and I haven't even finished the first draft on it yet. I've got all these ideas poured in for these other two guys. And I'm just like, I got to take these notes down before I lose them. The drive home, because it's in New York, right? So 16 miles takes an hour and a half. And you know, being stuck in traffic, that's when I get my phone calls out the way, whether it's with other collaborators, right, with other contemporaries. I'm on the phone with them, and we try to knock things out. Then I get home, and it's wifey time. You know, she takes a lot of time, unless there's a Kickstarter going on. If there's a Kickstarter going on, then I'm at the computer hitting the reload button all the time, just to see if the reload button works, to see if new bags come in.
And then you got to take Galactus for a walk every day. Galactus for a walk.
Bro, I change those batteries on a regular fucking basis. Okay, he stays lit at all times. Okay, you know, and at night it's again talking to some of the international guys that they're not up early, right? Talking to the folks in China with the toy stuff. And then Sunday mornings, I get a solid 4 hours. I still get up at 4:30 in the morning, and I'm out there working on new content before anybody gets up. You know, but it's basically, you know, I've got stuff on the to-do list from 3 or 4 months back that I still haven't tackled because there's always something new, and I'm like, fuck, this is still here, right? I gotta do an end card for my show, and I've been needing to update it with the Bluehost stuff and the new YouTube stuff, and boom, I haven't updated any of that. Right, and that's 4 months now, and I make fun of Calderon for it all the time.
Yep.
I'd love to say that I am responsible and have all my ducks lined up in a row, but no, I'm just at all times.
Yes. All right. So, all right, cool. Tom, do you have another question yet? No.
Another question?
Got nothing.
Since go on top of the one you didn't have before. All right. Here's one. Here's one. Here's a softball for everybody. What modern creator-owned comic series are you currently reading?
I'm sorry. Repeat that part again.
What modern creator-owned comic series are you currently reading?
Wow.
The Deviant, James Tynion.
Okay.
It's like a murderous Santa Claus, kind of sort of like a True Detective thing he's got going on.
All right. See. Lisa, what are your thoughts?
Creator owned.
John? Yeah.
We're reading this right now, but it's not. I don't think it doesn't count, right?
What is that?
Kind of graphic novel-y thing.
Yeah, we're like very into.
No, yeah, that counts.
Okay,
Yeah.
this is what we're reading. That's the second one.
I got to meet her, recently.
Very cool.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
But
And then after that it's underneath is I gotta read
it's underneath.
the other one that's on my
Oh,
list.
yeah, that's a.
But this is kind of old, right? This
Oh,
is
Habibi, yeah.
yeah. I just never read it, so
Yeah, I have. Yeah, that's on my shelf. That's on my read pile.
We have such a big read pile. It's ridiculous.
yeah.
Yep. All right, cool. Mark,
I'm reading everything out from Ghost Machine right now.
Oh, okay.
okay. So Jeff Johns.
All the Jeff Johns stuff. I'm reading all the Ghost Machine stuff right now. You know, Junkyard Joe, Geiger, stuff like that.
Yep.
You know, them guys. I've been following them guys for a while. I like their stuff a lot. So.
All right. Fair enough. Tom, what do you got? So you're pulling something down.
Yeah, so I'm doing two things right now. I'm in a deep reread of Invincible.
Oh, nice.
I haven't done that in a while, and TV show's out, and the TV show's really good, so it kind of put me back in that mode of going back into that book. And there's beyond even the books, the forwards and some of the history of Kirkman in these things is wild. Yeah. Like if you read the one that Eric Larson wrote, how basically Robert Kirkman just stalked him for years upon years, and finally got his foot in the door. That's how do you break into comics? You go hunt down Eric Larson, and you take him to the airport, and you go to his Thanksgiving dinners, and you just stay around all the time.
Right.
And then speaking of Eric Larson, I'm doing this.
Oh, nice.
So I never read this back in the day. I was aware of it, but because it's like a cop thing as well as superhero thing, it was never my thing. But I was like, you know what? I got this at a great price. So I'm like, give it to me. And it was interesting. It had some potential. So I have the second volume coming. And
that's the black and white one, or the full?
No, color? that's the full on ultimate
nice
thing, oversized hardcover. And of course, there's the history between Larson and Kirkman. Kirkman has said that Invincible exists because of the Savage Dragon. Yeah. It's crazy the comparisons of the two, and how Kirkman will always tell you, like, I just did everything that Eric Larson did, and that's what he did. So yeah, it's interesting to see the history of these two guys, and so I've been into those two books.
Nice.
All right, cool.
Nice.
Jay, what do you got?
Yeah, no, Tom, I got that Invincible, the hardcover one, and I love it. It includes its pitch to Image.
Supposedly, the perfect pitch. That's what has been said. Is
Really?
that pitch is the perfect pitch.
So we should get a hold of it and just rewrite it.
I got it.
That's what I'm
I found
saying.
it. They didn't pick up any of my
years
submissions.
upon years, they have said, like, how did Robert Kirkman pitch a superhero book? Because it's a superhero book. Now, Image was doing a bunch of superheroes at the time, so the door was open. But they have said that was the perfectly built, presented pitch.
Actually, it wasn't open. They were going back into superheroes.
Yeah.
So
that's what I'm saying. They were looking for superheroes
Right.
at the
They
time.
were looking for
Dynamo
it.
5 and Noble Causes and all that stuff.
Right. And there was one more creator who bounced, who said, I did not want to be associated with those yahoos.
Who was that?
I don't know. He has never.
Good story, Jake.
No, I want to know. Maybe you know. You're
the one that brought it up. I thought you knew.
But you were loosely associated to them through Aspen and Top Cow.
Oh no, the Aspen and Top Cow. Well, and Aspen left Image long before that stuff.
Yeah. Okay, but I'm going through Ram V's Rare Flavors right now. It's not your typical comic book, right? It is a cinematographer who got suckered into doing a documentary on a god, an Indian god who remodeled himself as a modern day Anthony Bourdain. So he takes the cinematographer to film him do new recipes, but what the cinematographer doesn't know is the proteins that he's using in the recipes are people. So because the god was a cannibal and or wasn't a cannibal, loved people. And trust me, that phrase is the pitch of the book. He loved people. So Rare Flavors, I recommend it. It was a boom book, and not your conventional art, right? It's the artist is Felipe Andrade, and it's go for it. Just go for it. Go for it. Go for it. Go for it. But it's been out for a while, right? I think it came out in 21. So I just found the trade, and I was like, let me go for it. But then I still buy regular comic books, right? Sorry, I like Avengers versus Aliens.
No.
What do you mean no? Avengers versus Aliens.
Creator owned.
Yeah, well, it's
no.
It's Hickman. No. Come on, bro. Come on.
No, creator owned.
Listen, this satisfies that, okay? This satisfies
that IP stuff out of here.
Yeah, listen, Marvel and DC, they get enough advertising without. Yeah, I know, dude. That's $1 book. Get out of here, bro.
This is not a fucking $1 book.
That's $1 book.
This is a $20 book.
Get out of here with that thing, bro.
This is a 9.4, not fucking graded.
Get
out of here, baby. Come on.
Let me remember
bullshit.
That garbage.
Fuck out of here with that.
No one knows what the X-Men are. Stop it.
Seriously.
You know what's scary is if it wasn't for that goddamn cartoon, I wouldn't have gotten into my X-Men kick again. It really was. I don't know about you guys. I don't know how old you guys are. But
are you watching Invincible?
I am.
Okay, good.
I am.
Good. You were about to disappoint me.
So, no, dude. Invincible was my roadmap for a long time. I mean, like I told you, that first hardcover of the first 12 issues.
No, are you watching the TV show? I'm saying.
Yeah. I'm waiting for all of season 3 to come out before I tackle it. But the X-Men cartoon came out. Boom, it got me back into this. In the 80s. When whatchamacallit, Nancy Reagan said, "Say no to drugs," I was that susceptible kid. I said no to drugs. Right? I'm easily influenced. Right? If the child kidnapper was in a comic book van, not in the ice cream van or the candy van, I would have been gone. I would not be here today. I would have been okay. But going back to Invincible for a second, right? With Tom, we spoke about this once before. When Season 1 debuted, in that 6 weeks that it was on air, he sold, I think it was 120,000 trades.
Yeah.
In those 6 weeks through Amazon.
This is monsters.
Right? For a book that hadn't been publishing new content in almost 6-7 years.
Yeah, roughly. And during the time it was releasing issues, its high point was about 16,000 units.
Mm-hmm.
16,000 units, right?
Which is a great number. It's a great number,
right?
But,
right, a great number for that time.
Yeah,
right. For now, we'd kill for 16,000 units, right? In the 80s, 16,000 units get you canceled before the second issue.
Yeah, you don't get printed at 16,000 units,
right?
All right. For myself, I'm reading "Bowling with Corpses" by Mike Mignola. So.
Mike.
Is that an actual Hellboy book or just a thing he does?
No, I think that's going to be the new series that he's putting out. It's like a series of short stories that they're releasing on hardcover. So and it's just like all these weird stories that he comes up with based on like old folklore tales from Europe. So,
after watching his documentary, I was just like, I mean, I love Mike Mignola, but just watching the documentary, I'm like, yeah, man, you're the fucking man, dude.
He's the fucking man.
He is the man. Jay, you got another question? Didn't you?
Oh man, I give you my 2 for the night. Come on, Tom.
Didn't you say something about ethics? I don't even have any.
No, your work ethic, not your constitutional ethics. Not your civic duty ethics. Shit, bro.
Is this where we have business ethics? Business ethics. Did that go over everybody's head?
Yeah.
Well, yes, because nobody has it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know it's terrible.
I'm disappointed.
I know.
Wait, I got lost on it. I was still talking. So
Adam Sandler movie, Business Ethics. It's the end of the movie.
No. All right. So listen, I do have another question. All right. This is about the Kickstarter and the functionality. Like, they're releasing new functions on the Kickstarter site, different functions, whatever. So of the functions that are coming out, what are you looking forward to? What would you like to see added, to those functions, to make things easier for us, obviously, as creators?
I don't know what the list of new functions is.
Well, what do you mean you don't know what the list? Don't you pay attention?
No.
All right. So answer the other half of the question. What would you like to see come up as a function that you might need?
There's only one thing that needs to happen.
Go ahead.
And it is when you make a reward, you need a button that says make that shit add-on. For God's sakes.
Right.
Stop making me build my campaign twice.
They let you import them now.
That's not the same thing.
I
You
know.
still have to
I know.
make the reward. You
know.
still have to make the add-on. Like
Well,
when
no,
you make a
but you
reward,
can
at the
import it.
end, it should be like, do you want this to be an add-on? Yes. And do
but
it.
Now you could at least import it. They're halfway.
They're not halfway there. That's just extra steps.
All right, I would like to see multiple shipments for the same customer. So like, the person who buys one for a friend, right? Okay, I got this. So I guess it would be an add-on, but to tack on to the separate add-on, but ship to a secondary address, right? So I remember when Greg Pak's book came out, the Princess Who Saved Herself, right? I bought 3 different copies for my nieces. I would have loved to have been able to just do bloop, 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 right? And have them shipped directly to each one of them. That would have been great. But their add-on after pledge is active now. Because I filled out a reward survey that was asking me if I wanted to add on any of these extra elements. So how's that going to affect BackerKit when that was their bread and butter?
Right. Well.
Oh yeah, they're all fighting each other. I mean, even BackerKit is doing crowdfunding, so they're all fighting each other.
Oh wow.
Yeah. For at least 2 years.
Wow.
The first time was invitation only. The first year, I believe.
Yeah, they chased me down. I was like, "What the fuck? Why would I go over here?" They didn't like my answers when I told them why I wasn't there, but they chased me down, and I just kept giving them like, "Why am I here? What's your answer? Why? They had no answer for me. It was really strange.
All right. So
what do you got, Lisa? Lisa got a question.
I have one. So the stretch goals thing, it's like we just didn't do them because I couldn't figure it out. And when I Googled it, it said that you could, it wasn't like an actual functionality as part of Kickstarter. So that would be nice. Or could you guys tell us, like, how do you do them?
Stretch goals are just something you as a creator add
Yep.
to the campaign. So for example, let's say you had to get $3,000 for your funding, right? And then you ended up getting 4,000. So you could say at 4,000, everybody gets a bookmark. And then
Right.
that's just something that you just do on the side. That's a you thing.
I understand what they are. I just didn't. I don't know how. Like there was no way to actually like add them in at the beginning, like so that.
Well, you could. The only thing you can do is put it into your story, right?
Yeah.
You can actually put a thing that says at $4,000,
Right.
everybody gets a bookmark.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's
But
it. And then when you do
great
your fulfillment, you just give everybody a bookmark.
Right.
Right.
It's a great marketing ploy, right? Because it gives you one more talking point when you
Right.
unlock the stretch goal, right? So it's on you to just put it in either the body or an update on all social platforms. Hey, our book just hit stretch goal number 1. And
Right.
then you repeat that in every one, and hopefully you get traction that brings you back in. But in setting up your stretch goal, like for me, all right, I usually budget about 5 different trading cards per campaign. So just like the napkins and the straws and the packets of ketchup, right, that you pay for when you order at McDonald's, that you don't know you're paying for it, but you're paying for it, right? Those are your perishables. So my trading cards are my perishables, right? It's each one, it's costing me 15 cents a pop. So those 5 times 15 is set up into my goal already. And if I don't hit the 5th stretch goal, well, I got over and saving a couple of bucks. Right. If not, it's still not coming out of my pocket. So stretch goals are just stuff that comes up in your planning.
I
but
get it.
The functionality of it, there is none. It's just you. It's just you marketing that is a thing that will give you. Yeah.
But it would be nice if Kickstarter had a way to like add that in. If you were you were just saying what kind of functionality would it be nice to have, and I was saying that would be nice.
No, that would be great.
I think it would be good if it was something where when you hit it, Kickstarter automatically told people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, that would make some aspect of sense.
And also like the early bird things, like I sort of saw how you could do it, but it would be nice if that functionality was there so that you could set up like the first 24 hours you get a discount and like it automatically did it. And then, and then afterwards when you hit a stretch goal, you automatically could add something in. So those are just 2 pieces of functionality that I thought would be nice. And also I agree with you about the add-ons. That was very complicated and confusing.
Yeah. Because I wish they had the database for it stored in your account. So all you have to do is plug and play as opposed to re-upload it for every campaign. Right. Because sometimes I forget what copy I use on each individual entry on every
or just a button, Jay. We just need a button.
Just need a button.
Yeah. You just need a button. Make it a reward. Make it an add-on. Click.
Yeah.
That's it. All we need.
Yeah.
And I told them that too, and they laughed at me. They were not at me, but they laughed. They were like, yeah, we know. Trust me, we know.
Well, funny enough, Kickstarter is hiring right now. I don't know if you're getting you're going through the emails and the updates. At the bottom of every update, next to this unsubscribe button, it's Kickstarter is now hiring. Okay.
There you go. John, do you have anything to add to that?
Not really. I mean, this is our first Kickstarter campaign, and we kept things pretty basic. I look forward to because it's been very encouraging. It's sort of something that I was afraid to kind of dive into for a while, which is why it's kind of taken us this long to kind of do our first book. Is that I've been just like kind of afraid to open that door, but it's been really great, and I'm looking forward to now doing other things that we've been wanting to do.
He's like, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that.
Yeah, I'd like to have like a campaign as like kind of like slick as Tony's.
Yeah, Tony's.
That was cool. I'm still dealing with the functionality that they already have.
Well, this is where your newsletter, right? Your that fan base becomes key, because when you're doing different categories, I learned this the hard way. The crossover is not there. It's not. I was lucky to get 20% jump from one category to the next, and that was nowhere near the 20% I needed to get me closer to funding. It was just 20% of my active consumer base. Right. So in just cultivating that newsletter, you're keeping them aware of all of your products as opposed to trying to find new consumers on the platform itself.
Right.
All right, cool. Tony.
I'm glad the Kickstarter has late pledges. That's awesome. It's the one thing that Indiegogo had over Kickstarter for the longest time. Going forward with the late pledges, I would like the Kickstarter algorithm to or just find a way to offer late pledge books to consumers, or at least a category to go like, oh, what are the books that are in late pledges right now? Because it feels like once they hit late pledges after the first 48 hours or so, it falls off the face of the earth. So I would kind of like to see Kickstarter, offer late pledge books to people in addition to live campaigns.
Okay.
That'd be cool too.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Because I mean, it's easy to fall into that black hole.
Yeah.
Just disappear. Mark.
I'd like to see them buy Kick Track and make it part of their analytics.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
That's what I like to see them do.
What does that mean? Can you explain that?
Well, Kick Track is like it's an independent kind of like information tool that tells you a lot about, gives you a lot of analytics about your Kickstarter campaign and stuff like that.
It tells you the trajectory that you're
right,
you're
trajectory
on.
and stuff. Yeah.
Except it's completely wrong all the time
Is it
until you
wrong?
get to like the
Yeah.
last 3 days, and then it balances out. It's like, oh, hey, day one, you're going to hit $100,000, and then at the end of the thing, you're like, oh yeah, 5,000.
Hey Tom, I'm never paying attention to that.
It's based on daily analytics, but it shows you, by the month. But what's good about Kick Track is if you remain on the top 25 or 30 list, it's just one more link that gets back to your campaign, right? That you're not paying for.
I think Kicktrack is most useful as a post-mortem to kind of just see how the campaign did, see what your strongest days were, see where
but
you
see
had
that's in Kickstarter now. You can go into the they have analytics for that.
Yeah,
in Kickstarter now.
It's just the Kickstarter analytics. I don't know about Kicktrack.
Yeah.
It's like a separate. Well, maybe you guys can.
Yeah, ClickTrack is just its own website where it follows crowdfunding stuff
with a Q instead of a CK.
Yeah, with a Q.
Yeah. Somebody can put the link in the private chat, and then we can,
If it allowed for user reviews on there, it would be an Angie's List. But
well, I just saw JD, because I don't pay attention. I just saw that super backers are going to be able to now go into the campaign and highlight a section, whatever they want to talk about, and then start a chat about it.
Oh, nice.
That's pretty sweet. I like that.
Nice. I like that.
That's a new beta thing that's coming.
I like that. I like that.
It'll be sort of like Facebook, where you have chat room or group chats or whatever. You'll be able to create a chat within the thing somehow.
Engagement is always good. Can't be.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's engagement, right? That's the only real tool that we have in our arsenal, guys.
Right.
Yeah. All right, I got a question.
Hold on, let me finish. So the thing that I'd like to see is where you can have a featured pledge. So you can actually have a pledge.
Oh, you can do that. You can do that. Yes.
Oh,
you can only do one. Because when I was just launching this Kickstarter, this penny thing, I did a reward, and at the bottom, I don't remember if it's called featured, but it's basically you can tack it to the top.
Nice.
It will stay there. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, okay. So that's really new.
Yeah, very new. Very new.
Because I got something ready to launch on Friday, so I'll see if I can use that.
Very cool.
All right. So go.
Take that for the big money.
All right. Thanks for the open door there, Calderon. Thanks. Does anybody know how to utilize or integrate the Google Analytics into Kickstarter yet?
My partner does. I have no idea how she does it.
My son did it too. He said it wasn't that big of a deal for me, but we can side channel. I can ask him to help you if you want.
Right.
Okay. The stuff they do on Kickstarter is pretty intense. I mean, they do a lot of stuff that Kickstarter actually gives you. So I don't know what else Google can possibly tell you.
Yeah, that's kind of what he said.
Okay.
Interesting now.
He said that if you were actually running Google ads, then it would become something that was more effective. But unless you're doing that kind of Google ad stuff, but I think he did do it. I think you just go into Google Analytics, and then if you have a Google account with whatever your Gmail is, and then you can just pull that number off of it and drop it in. But he didn't think it was that big of a deal.
Okay.
See? And how old is he?
He's 24 and a half.
So he's right in that wheelhouse. That's not worth shit. Don't do it, Jay. He knows more than us.
Right. Absolutely.
he's a computer programmer /
fintech bro.
He's a fintech. He's not a bro. He's tech bro right now. So.
Yeah. You want to say bro right now, John. You want to say that.
He's not a bro.
So let me, on a personal note, have we all reached the age where it's the equivalent of not knowing how to set a VCR? Is that the point that we're at in our lives right now?
100%.
I mean,
100%. But it's more than that. It's even more than that. It's I don't want to know. It's not information that I want in here.
Okay.
So I'll find somebody to help me with it.
I do IT for a living, right? And so at the end of the day, this withered cortex can't take anymore.
Oh my God, you guys!
It's just knowing who to go to for different expertise. That's all.
Right.
Yeah, our parents came to us to set the VCR clock. We go to somebody else to do our Google ads.
That's my tech right there. That's
my kid comes to me for writing advice, so it's a trade.
Nice.
There you go.
Very cool. Very cool.
Very nice. So, Jay, do you have another question?
I just asked 4 questions today. I've reached my limit for next week. Come on.
All right. So I got a softball one. All right. Softball. What makes you happiest in comics? All right. Let's start with Tony.
Sorry. Say that again.
What makes you happiest in comics?
I don't want to say making money, but I mean, yes, it's great when you have a very passionate fans. They do fan art, and they want you to sign the books and all that stuff. But it's nice to pay bills and get money from conventions. It feels so shallow to say that, but I said, as I said at the top of the show, I do lead with the art. I am very passionate about making that part really stand out.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Jay agrees with you 110% because he is shallow.
Yeah. Make that fucking money, baby. Make that fucking money, bro. Come on.
Mm-hmm. So, Mark,
listen, if you're making money off of something that you love, you've done it right.
Right, you've done it right. Exactly. I don't know, man. It's touching. Somebody says something about that comic that has touched them in some way, man. That's to me that throws me over the edge. I'm all there for that.
Okay, that's good. Lisa?
I mean, making money on comics is just like a whole new thing for us. So I can't even I think I would
love you, Dad, man. I love you to death.
I'm not saying no. So, but I mean, I think for me, it's sometimes the story just comes and it's just it's like the gift from the muse. And then John draws it and he makes it better, and I look at it and I'm like, wow, this is better than we even thought. And that's it's honestly, that's better than money in some ways. I'm gonna say it's better than money, to have actually have it all come together in that magical moment. It feels just special. So that's for me.
All right, John, what are your thoughts?
John's I don't know what to say.
I don't know. This sounds like silly, but honestly, it's just like drawing.
All right, that's not silly. That's not silly to me. It's not silly at all.
Just I like. I mean, you need the money so that you have the opportunities and stuff like that. I would like to draw a lot more things. I mean, I want to do all kinds of comics. But it's like getting to draw new fun things.
All right, cool. Tom?
It's really two things. I still just love opening the comics, like when they're new, like they come from the printer and you get to see a new book, like being born, like out of the box. That's still great for me. I love seeing them. I love seeing it's look at that cover. Look at that. I've seen all this. I've done it for 15 years. I've seen all this. It's still great. And then the other one is when you actually get your readers to have a reaction to something. Something in the story happens and they're just like, either they're surprised by it or, it was like, like, oh my God, that was like really emotional or whatever. And that kind of stuff happens at cons a lot because people will come up and, you're signing books and they'll be like, oh man, I remember in that one where that thing happened. That was so good. Like that's really great because now you know that you've done something that you're making money off of that has, one more step, which is that the fan, the reader, whatever is there for a reason. And they like what it is. It's not just that, they're buying it to, just to have it. They've read it, they've put some time into it, and they come back to you and like, oh, the ending of that one, that really got me. So yeah, those are kind of the two super keys for me.
All right, cool. Mr. Rosario, what do you enjoy the most?
Watching that catalog grow. Right? There's something about it that just it's like that merit badge, right? That Boy Scout merit badge that I get to look back on, and it wipes away the self-doubt. It negates all of the outlying forces that would tell me I couldn't do it, that I should be doing something else, invest my time elsewhere. I'm a kid. Go live in your fantasy world. Right? All of that negativity just gets wiped away by those badges of courage in my catalog, right? And also the people who were on the other side of the table when I would walk up to them like Oliver Twist, trying to show them my books, right? And asking, "Oh, may I have some more porridge, sir?" Right? Would you take a look at my book, sir? Right? And they wouldn't give me the time of day. And here they are, forgetting who I was, coming to my tables, asking me for the time of day that they never would have given me. Right? And it's just another way to say, yeah, I've been doing it right. I've been doing something right, to keep making as many as I have for so long.
Jay, you know what that reminds me of? Remember that EPMD song, Please Listen to My Demo?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, man. Bro, who knows EPMD anymore?
Hey, just saying, that's what it reminds me of. Man.
Yes.
Yeah. For myself, it's kind of like Tom said. I like getting the finished product. I like getting that finished book when it's all done and set forward and you can flip through it. I still remember the first, when I was 21, I was either 20 or 21. And I remember I was working at a job and I had gotten a package from Brenner Printing. And it was the first book I'd ever printed. It was the proofs. And I'd opened that package up. I looked at those books and I was just like floored. And this was what, 92. And I was just flipping through and I was just like, wow. And my boss is like, hey man, how was it? Or how's it look? It was like, oh, it's great. Friday's my last day, by the way.
Nice.
And that's how that went down. So yeah, that's the thing I'm always chasing is I love seeing the finished product. So,
hey,
right.
if you was printing through Brenda back then, buddy, you was putting together some cash.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we were doing some stuff back then. So, listen, everybody, we've reached the end of the show. We made it to the 2 hours. Thank you so much for being here. Let's start with Lisa and John. Where can we find you and your work?
Ready?
So you can do it.
Yeah. Well, there's 1,000 comics that you could read on our Instagram, background_noise_comic. We're just starting out on Blue Sky. We're also on Webtoons, but like a couple of those lists that Lisa gave me to do tonight to start uploading on Webtoons and Medium again. I'm getting to it, but there's still hundreds of comics on there. But the most important thing is, of course, our Kickstarter for Love Letters Every Day, our first collection of our first year of comics, plus essays and never before seen comics. Is that everything?
I also have essays on Medium that are predominantly about comic creation and
they link back to comics.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, so Lisa Burdige on Medium.
All right, cool. Tony, where can we find you in your work, sir?
On Instagram at BananaBat, where I show a lot of Star Noir stuff and set it to old timey music. And I'm also on Twitter at T/J.
All right, cool. Mark?
Well, I'm about to hit you guys up hard. So you guys can hit us up at imaginosworkshop.com, shiningotaku.com. The webcomics are at Judafist, thecomicseries.com, and the extras, thecomicseries.com.
Cool. Tom?
BigDogInk.com. That'll get you to all the books you need. We have trade paperbacks, back issues, everything you need. If you haven't read any of our stuff yet, we do a Patreon, of course, patreon.com/BigDogInk. We'll be at C2E2, returning to C2E2 for the first time since 2019 this year. We'll also be at Motor City and various other cons throughout the year. But we're getting back into some of the places we haven't been for quite a while.
All right, cool. Jay?
The last time I was at C2E2 was 2019. I don't remember seeing you there, Tom.
Well, you weren't looking.
I wasn't. It would have been nice to know you.
Let us in years. Anyway,
yeah, it would have been nice. Whatchamacallit? You can find me on StoppableComics.com. All of my social media links are on the website. You can also find me on Friday, Comic Book Streamland on YouTube. And you guys, anybody here is welcome. If you want, just shoot me a line and we'll come aboard Friday nights, 8:00 Eastern. June, I'm going to be in Augusta. April, I'm going to be in Industry City. October, going to be at New York Comic Con. That's all I got right now planned for the rest of the year. And hopefully we can get a lot more stuff out, bearing any more hiccups in my personal life.
All right. Very nice. You can find me on Kickstarter, Twitter, Instagram, all those different places. But again, like I said, Kickstarter next Friday. Dreamweavers #1. We'll see how that goes. And just remember, everybody, go check out the links in the show notes. All right. Everybody's links are in there. So you can click on those links, pick up books. All of these creators are doing great books, and all of them deserve, all of them are passionate creators, right? All of them deserve your time and your attention and your support. So please click on those links, buy those books. And just remember, read more indie comics, especially ours. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you.
Later.
Okay.